Hello? Is the sound working? The big question. Please be working. Oh my god. Okay. Yes, it is working. Cool. Cool. Bruv, let's go. And I can hear it. All right. I can hear it. You can hear it. Everyone can hear it. Great. Great. Well, to the people who have already showed up, welcome to the video editing lecture, where we hopefully all are going to learn to edit videos a little bit better, make the editing less shit. And yeah, if any of you have seen any of my videos, by the time that we're actually done here, you're going to be able to edit the exact same videos that I'm editing. And not that I'm like the best editor in the world, but I'd say I'm doing all right. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I made this like a bitchin' document. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Yeah, this is pretty much what we're going to be going over in the lecture. There's a lot of like big overarching tips, and then there's some smaller tips that are really just whatever, but which are just things that I really like, and along with some programs that I like to use, just stuff that I like to do. None of it is like mandatory for how you want to do YouTube, but I don't know. I just really like it, and you might like it too. So, how has everyone's day been? Talk to me, lads. See if we can put on some music here, some nice lo-fi, non-copyright music, please. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're just going to be waiting 6 more minutes for the people who actually want to come here before we start the real lecture. But we might actually talk a little bit about, so for anyone who doesn't know, this lecture is going to be primarily focused on Premiere Pro. So if you're using something else, I'm really sorry, but I don't really, this is what I know, and I recommend that you too use Premiere Pro. You can crack a free version. Oh shit, let's go, Yeti. Thank you for being here. All right, so let us see here, because Premiere Pro. Because I know there's a lot of links in the server from people who have previously, asked about Premiere Pro. Oh yeah, I think this is it. Free download Premiere Pro. Isn't this it? Yeah, it's pretty much it. So I don't know if you guys need the Adonis section to see this, but yeah, okay, so this is from Adonis General, but I'm just gonna leave the link in the chat for anyone who's interested in a cracked Premiere Pro, because all the stuff in this lecture, it's gonna be related to Premiere. So if you don't use Premiere, 50% of the lecture is gonna be pretty much worthless to you, apart from like the principles and the concepts. But let's say that the whole reason that I'm doing this live is for just so you can like get a follow along, because I know finding information on the internet about how to video edit, it's really hard, especially like because in the self-improvement niche there is a specific way to edit videos. Like you have people like Hamza, like Ali Abdal, who edit their videos in a certain way, and when you try to search for how to edit videos like that, nothing really pops up, because I don't know, maybe one guy made how to edit a video like Ali Abdal, but it doesn't give you all the tips, or it doesn't actually bring you through how to do the editing section, which is kind of what I hope to do for you guys. That makes sense. So yeah. Dude, people underestimate how fucking hard video editing is, because there's no like, you have to know what you're searching for, and unless you, like, I know there are some channels like a Premiere in a Minute, or like Adobe 1 minute Adobe tutorials, where if you sub to them, you can just go through their whole catalog and see if you find something that you really like. But most of the time, the stuff that you really want to do and the edits that you really want to do, you don't know what they're called, because if you just search like how to start moving images in Premiere Pro, like how to have images auto move in Premiere Pro, it's going to be very difficult for the right thing to pop up. So if you've seen Hamza's videos, which you obviously have because you're all from the Discord, I'm going to go over, like, I've been studying his videos a little bit and some of the other self-improvement creators, and we're going to go over a lot how they do like the moving animations and stuff like that. And we're going to go over a lot about movement, because movement is the biggest thing that we're going to be discussing in this lecture. It's the biggest thing that catches, or not as much catches eyeballs, but keeps people, like, that keeps people's attention. So we're going to be talking a lot about that and how you can implement more movement in your videos. Just to give you an example, so I actually prepared this, like this is a video that I'm currently working on right now, and I had these like 2 sections. Let's see, yeah. So I made this, this is the original part from the video, but before that, I want you to look at this clip. Now, I was supposed to take the last, like the little transition out, but if you compare that part to this that I'm about to show here, it's literally night and day, and it's all because of the movement, because there's always something happening on the screen, and there's like no static images, even if it's just for like 5 or 6 or 7 seconds. It's absolutely crucial that you make your images move. Not like if you have good content, obviously people are still going to watch it, but you know, even if you have content that is good, if you can make the editing good on top of that, you are just going to get a lot better results. All right, so I think we're pretty safe to start the lecture. Yeah, it's roughly 7 now. Okay, so for all the guys who are here, we're gathered because we're shit at editing and we want to improve a little bit. Now, this lecture is for anyone who uses Premiere Pro, because the majority of the concepts that, like, I use Premiere Pro, and the majority of the tips and tricks that I'm going to give you are for Premiere Pro. And if you don't have it, a quick thing that you can do, like I linked something in the chat where you can crack it for free. Just do yourself a favor. Like, it's not that DaVinci is bad, but I feel like DaVinci Resolve, which is another free editing program, it's very heavy on your PC. Like with my old PC before I got my new one, if I crashed in Premiere like twice a day, like over 2, 3, 4 hours of editing, on DaVinci, it was such a 50-50, and you literally had to like save after every single edit you did, because you were never safe for when the program was going to crash. So not only for that, but Premiere is just a lot easier to use. Like, the effects panel is just so much better, and you don't have to like play Legos when you're connecting things like you have to do in DaVinci. In my opinion, it's a really bad system. Maybe it's just because I didn't properly learn it, but what can I say? I just prefer Premiere, and I recommend you do the same. You can get it free. Andrea, I honestly don't know, man. Like, I experienced so much shit with DaVinci. It's crazy, but I don't know. Maybe I was just really unlucky. But again, this lecture is going to be for anyone who uses Premiere Pro, so I recommend that you use Premiere Pro. That's the gist of it. But a lot of the principles that I'm going to be using in the lecture, the ideas can be transferred to any program. I don't know. All right. So let's start from, and then let me pull up the document, because I made this nice, neat little document. And just note, is that correct file? I think it's for Windows only, Yeti, but you can find it for. It is obviously a little bit more difficult for Macs. I know that the cracking process is a little bit weird. But if you're really interested, I believe that you're going to find the time to actually download it. And it is going to, like, it is a one-time thing. It might take you an hour to download, but then it's like you're set for life. Look at it that way. You're investing 1 hour to make the rest of your editing life so much easier. So look at it that way. But yeah, since my attention span has actually gotten better, but like with every lecture, we're going to have a Q&A session by the end, and I'm just going to go through all the principles here and go through it on the screen. Like, I'm actually going to show you guys over here the things that I'm doing whenever there's an example. Instead of just like talking about it, I'm actually going to give you guys an example of how to do it and show you how to do it and show you the different effects, just so you can actually, like, after this stream, that you're going to be ready to replicate it in your own videos. So I don't just want to like talk very hypothetically about what it is we're going to do here. So with that being said, let's get into the topics. All right, so really there's two ways to get more eyeballs on YouTube. Obviously, you have to make really good thumbnails for people to click the video. But if you want actually to, like, for people to watch your videos, you either, one, have to have really, really good content. So the things that are coming out of your mouth have to be very, very interesting. And despite shitty editing, people are going to have to want to keep watching. Or two, you can do really good editing. So that is, like, Hamza is a really good combination. Let's just speak about him because he's something that we all somewhat know. What's coming out of his mouth is making sense, but it's then backed up by really good editing. There's always something interesting happening on the screen which keeps your attention span hooked. Now, I know all of us are doing self-improvement. We're like, oh, but people should just have the attention span to watch my content anyway. But the market doesn't care, bro. Like, the market doesn't care that you don't want to edit your video. The market only cares that your video is shit. Like, so you can either adjust to it and increase your watch time that way, or you can just say, this is not for me, and have nobody watch your videos because they're boring. So with that explained, we're going to be focusing on the editing part here because I'm not a great storyteller myself, so I can't really tell you the secrets of storytelling and how to tell better stories. So that's why this lecture is focused on the editing part. How can you make your video more engaging to watch? How can you make it so that there's always something that's trapping your viewer back in and making them want to watch your videos? And I know I am not a professional. It's not like I'm some big shot YouTuber who's like, 500,000 subscribers. I'm just taking all that I've studied and trying to, like, help you guys grow a bit faster than I did. Now, step number one. What you're going to do, if you're just a little bit serious about YouTube or like editing videos, you're gonna go to storesar.com. You're gonna go into store. This is not sponsored. I just want to make people aware of that. And you're gonna go in here and you're gonna buy the Essential Premiere Pro preset pack. These are the most valuable 10 pounds that you're gonna spend in your entire life, and they're gonna save you so much time on YouTube. Look, if you've seen, like, all of these like, whenever something pops up on my screen, that is not something that I do. This section over here, let me see if I can find it for you guys. I actually made a funny, yeah, this. Your camera of like,
oh, Hamza told me, like, Hamza was right or Hamza was wrong about this topic.
Those sound effects, that is not something that I made. I didn't create any of this. It comes from the preset pack that once imported into Premiere, you just type in Finzar and you have all of these tools. You got, audio effects, you got video effects, you got blurs, you got black and whites, you got a whole bunch of, like, pixelated, you got so much shit. And you also got all the transitions. Riva, the price is 10 pounds. It's changed everything it's changed my entire workflow on YouTube. A video that might take me 20 hours to edit before is taking me half the time because I don't have to animate anything anymore. It's just like, you take it, slide it in, boom, it works. Let me actually show you an asset that I haven't edited. So let's say that I want, let me show you. let's say that I want this piece, instead of it to just like transition over, I want it to pop up. I simply go find the slide in, let's just use slide in up. And look what this is gonna do. Oh, let me see if I can. Boom. It just slides up. I didn't have to do, it's literally like click and drag. It's gonna make your videos so much better because it's something that's gonna grab the attention of the viewer. Instead of something just popping up on the screen, like just appearing out of nowhere, you can either make it zoom, slide, whatever, come from whatever direction you want, and you can do the same for outs. Like you can even, let's say that I want this thing to slide out. Let me just remove the shit so that you can actually see it. Okay, let's say I want this to slide out. Anytime though. Yeah, it slides out. And all I had to do was click and drag. For anyone who wasn't here while I made the announcement, just save your questions for the end. My attention span can't handle both answering your questions and actually going through the lecture, and it's just going to be a mess for you guys. Let's see here. All right, so with that out of the way, go to storesar.com and buy it. It's 10 pounds, guys, and it's gonna, even from the first video that you make, it's worth it because it's half the time. And for some of you guys, it's gonna be even more because some of you guys, you have no fucking clue how to even do any of this animation shit. It takes so long to do and so long to learn to actually do it properly, that if you can just buy this, it's gonna save you 20 hours at the bare minimum of learning. Absolutely worth it. All right, so now that we're done with that part, we're gonna be talking about creating good assets for yourself with, with Photoshop when no PNG is available. So let's say that you want a PNG of Goku. Let's say that you make anime videos. Ultra Instinct Goku, and you really want to use a picture of Goku, but you don't want this shitty background, you just want Goku. Here's what you're gonna do. Copy the image. Let's see how we're gonna make this. Just make a custom one here, boom. So there's many ways you can do this. You can either save the image, but just for time convenience, I just copied it in, like here, it's copied. I don't want any of this like shitty background. So what you're gonna do, now this, again, if you don't have Photoshop, you can use the same, like the Discord is riddled with links for you to find Photoshop. Otherwise, it's gonna take you maybe a total of like 15 minutes to find and download a cracked version of, wow, something is so stuck. Good Lord. Holy Mother of God. Man, I'm getting teary-eyed. What the fuck? But yeah, if you don't have Photoshop, look, it's so simple. Just go on the Discord, go up on, I'm even going to show you guys because, you know, I'm that guy. I love you and I want you guys to have it easy. Man, why is this thing still? So, pause. Stop. All right, so you're just gonna go up here, gonna search Photoshop, and you're just gonna like search. Okay, so there's 25 windows, but just go back to some of the first. I know Ami, he shared some of the like early links. Just go through this part, and you're gonna find a link somewhere. Okay, so do yourself a favor, download Photoshop. So back to Photoshop. Again, we don't want this shitty background. We just want Ultra Instinct Goku. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the fourth tool. You can see if you actually right click this that there's a couple different ones. So the ones we're interested in is the object selection tool and the quick selection tool. First, we're gonna try the object selection tool, and there you go. It actually allows us to just like paste it. Boom. And now you can see it's made an outline of Goku. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down to this button down here. Can't really see if you can see the name, but it's basically just a square. Yeah, add layer mask. You're gonna press that. And then you can see the mask was a little bit wonky with the light because it didn't get his arm. Now that's actually perfect for us because then I can actually highlight how you can further do this. So now we have a pretty good outline of Goku. Most of the time, since the lighting isn't always going to be wonky on your pictures, it's just going to crop it perfectly. But let's say that it didn't make a perfect crop. What you're then going to do, you're going to switch over to the object selection tool. Oh, not, fuck, I'm an idiot. Sorry. To the quick selection tool. And you can make this bigger or smaller. Like you can hold Alt down and then right click and then, you know, move your mouse and you can make it bigger, smaller. And we just want to start cropping his arm in. Boom. And we even got a little bit of the aura. There we go. So now we got everything marked and you're just going to press the add layer mask again. And now we have a PNG of Goku. We don't have any annoying background. And what you're going to do here is export. You can either quick export as a PNG or like just normally export it. And if you guys are wondering why I have all these Hamza images, it's because I'm making a video on it. So it's not because I'm stalking him. Rest assured. And you just go in, boom, image dump, or whatever, wherever you save your pictures. Save. And now we are going to go into image dump, boom. And we got this fancy picture of Ultra Instinct Goku. It's perfect. Now, I actually fucked up, I think, because I didn't remove this layer. So it's actually not a PNG, but just make sure that the background looks like this before you export it. Otherwise, right now there's a white background on the picture, but you get the point. Just disable the white background, do the process that I just did, and which was using the object selection tool and just waiting for it to be like, to mark over something, press it, and then just fix any edges with the like quick selection tool. And you can use this for anything. I'm actually going to show you guys another example. Say GigaChad, because I know a lot of people make like the self-improvement videos. So you might need images of GigaChad. Let's say that you don't want the background. So we're going to save. Oh, actually, we're going to boom. Copy image. Photoshop. We're actually going to deselect here. Boom. Delete. We're going to post that in there. Now, we're not interested in the background, so we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to go in here, object selection. We're going to let it load a little bit. If you got 0 RAM, then rip your PC. It's going to take a bit more time. But you just click the outline. You can see it made a perfect outline here almost. There's a little bit of his legs that are missing. And there's actually one more way to, so you go down here to the pen tool. God bless Warren Soul. He was the one who taught me this. Now, let's say that, because sometimes when you use the objects, like the quick selection tool, it's going to be a little bit inaccurate and it's not going to get everything that you want, or it's going to get a little bit more than you want. But for those very fine details where maybe this is still like, it grips too much and you can see the edges are a little bit wonky, you press P, go down to the pen tool, then you start marking this. Very nice, and you can even like zoom in and like get a really good look. We're gonna go all the way up to his arm. All right, you can see we've now made a selection and we're gonna close it all the way down here. Then you're gonna go up to selection and you're gonna go add to selection. Oh shit. Okay, so my Photoshop is fucked, but normally it's just gonna add this to the selection and it works really well. I can't explain to you why it's not working right now, but I'll figure it out at some point. But yeah, normally it's a very nice way to like get those extra details in. And let me just let's just remove this. Remove all these points so that I can show you how to do it properly. All right, boom. So now we got GigaChad selected. And what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna go back down here, add layer mask. Oh, there's actually this part down here. We're not really interested in this. And then again, if you want to remove something, because when you're adding, you just click, like you just hold it. But let's say that you want to remove something. Let's say that I want to remove his head. what you're going to do is you're going to hold down Alt, like a left Alt on your keyboard, and then again head over the object that you want to deselect. Now we obviously want to bring the head, but boom. Now we got this raw PNG of GigaChad, and again you're going to go in, export, quick export as PNG, and we're just going to call him GigaChad. And here's what we're going to do. Now I'm going to find it in the folder, and I'm going to import it into the timeline. And boom, we now have a PNG version of GigaChad that you can play around with and without like the annoying background. And we're also going to get into why it's really important to not have the background further in. But for now, just know that this is a tool that you can use to create assets for yourself. If you can't find them on Google, like normally if you're making videos, and usually there's like this really good tool. So we've just searched GigaChad. You go into tools, you go into color, transparent, and it's everything that pops up here is a PNG. So none of it has a background. Whoever made this is a scourge upon humanity. Fuck that guy. But none of this is going to have a background. So that's a very simple way to see if you can just find the PNG right then and there. But if you can't, you can go through the process that I just showed you in Photoshop to create your own assets. Now, next up is crafting narratives with PNGs. Now, let me show you an example because I think it's easier that way. So, yeah. So this scene right here is possible because this is because I used a bunch of PNGs. So I'm crafting a narrative here that when you make a Hamza video, people don't really care about you. They just want to hear about Hamza. So when you start talking about something else, they don't want to hear about that. So what I've done is I made a stage, and then I took these PNGs of like Wojaks and added them in to craft the narrative that you're on the stage, but even though they're listening to you, they don't really care about your opinion. This is a narrative I wouldn't have been able to craft if this had its own background. So PNGs are so incredibly powerful to convey a story, because let's say you want a bunch of birds, but when you search up pictures of tropical birds, then you get, the tropics, but you only want the birds. And you can't craft the narrative you're interested in with the tropics because maybe you're talking about something in the big city. I don't fucking know. But PNGs are incredibly powerful to craft whatever story that you're trying to convey to the viewer. Because here, when I'm talking about this, if I just said, oh, people don't really care about your video, they only want to hear you talk about Hamza because they're Hamza fans. Now, if I just said that, let's look at this part. Let's just watch through it. These guys are not here for you. There's either people. All right. So here I'm conveying the story that, hey guys, I really want to talk about this thing that I'm super passionate about. No, we want to hear about Hamza's farts. Now compare that to if I remove this aspect, and it's just me speaking. It's completely different, because here you're getting a visual representation of what I'm trying to say to you, and it's also movement and something new that's happening on the screen that grabs the attention of the viewer. And again, something like this, like Photoshop and Premiere Pro just go so well together, because I actually have, I'm going to show you guys this again. So this is the original Adonis face, the Adonis animation mini one. And let's say that you want a sad one, but you can't find it. Let me show you how to make it in Photoshop. Like it's so simple. You just go to the eyedropper tool to identify the color of his beard, so you don't have to like fiddle around with the colors up here. Go to the brush tool. You fix your pen so it's not like gonna overshadow his entire face. Fix it. Now, I did fuck that up a little bit, but again, if you're just being precise, that's not going to happen. Boom, fix the pen tool, make it even smaller. Make him sad. And then you can even like add some tears. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this image is grayscale or some shit. Adjustment. layer edit. I can't really remember how to not make it grayscale right now, but oh, maybe brightness, contrast. Again, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, you can use Photoshop to create images that you don't have. Like when you really need an image, if you have the base of it and you just have to change a couple different things. I don't know if that even, yeah, it is grayscale. Fuck my life. But Photoshop is incredibly powerful because it just lets you create more assets. Now, if you're lazy, like I am sometimes, you're not always going to do it, even though it would make the video better. But it's nice to know that you have the tool in the, like, that you have it in the toolkit. Like, I didn't have a sad Adonis, so I just went into Photoshop and crafted one. You feel me? Anyways, the PNGs, like I was explaining, are really strong because they allow you to craft a story. It's the same with a lot of Hamza's videos. When you see Soy Jack or like these guys in the gym, if they had a background, that wouldn't work. Because what Sam did was that he imported the background of a gym like I imported the background of a stage, and then he imported the PNGs without their backgrounds to like craft a narrative to give further explanation to what Hamza might have been talking about in the video, and that's why it's so powerful. So yeah, just remember that. It's a very easy way of telling a deeper story, or like a visual storytelling. Okay, animating any asset in Premiere Pro, text and pictures and video. Okay, this is important because it correlates to movement. Now, movement can be text forming like you see here. Instead of the text just popping up, it's kind of like a keyboard effect. I still need to add the sound effects. But you can see something is moving, something is happening that is gripping the attention of the viewer. If we go over here, again, I have the pictures of the disciples, and instead of just popping them in, they're constantly growing. Now, how can you do this for your own videos? I'm going to show you. And again, the thing that I'm about to do here, you can do it with text, you can do it with anything. Let's just find an asset to import. Actually, let's just add the called acolyte. Right? Boom. So let's say you want to make this guy bigger, or you want to make this guy smaller, or you want to make him move in some sort of direction. Let's say we want to make this guy move from here over here in a like seamless fashion. Like you can see him sort of walking. So what we would do, you see over here in the effects control panel, there's these like little stopwatches. Now what that's going to do is that it's going to add a marker to the timestamp that you're currently at. So you can see now I just moved the marker up here to the beginning of the asset. So I'm at the beginning of the asset, and I want to click here on position if we want him to move, and on scale and rotation you can like make him bigger as he goes. So let's say that I want to make this bigger as we go along in the narrative. So what you're going to do, you toggle this at the beginning of the image, then you move forward to where you want it to like grow. And then let's say I want this guy to be this big and I want him to be over here. Now you can see we have these two little two markers, and then we have two markers here in the beginning. So this represents his size right now, and this represents his size at the beginning when we like. It's very important that you note what time you make this in. So this could even be like you want to make him move forward, like approach, it seem like he's approaching. There's a JoJo meme in there somewhere. So now we're gonna roll the clip. And you can see I'm not doing anything, but he's just growing and coming closer the further we go along in the clip. You can also do it for rotation. So let's say that at the beginning of the clip, we want him to be just normally rotated. But when we get to the next point, we want him to be, boom, and you can just, we want him to be over here. It's the same. He's gonna start rotating to the degree that we pretty much commanded him to. And a very easy way to do this, so you don't have to like trifle with these numbers, is once you have this like little blue marker, just go up into motion. See, you can see now, if I just grip it, motion, and it's gonna add this square. Now when you make this bigger, you're automatically changing the commands over here, so you don't have to like guess, oh, I want him to be 20 points bigger, if you don't really know how much 20 points is. So you just simply expand, contract, rotate, whatever you want to do, and it's going to change over here. And you can see it still confirms it. It's still a valid command that is then going to give these timestamps, new commands that, okay, this is the size that and the rotation that I want this asset to attain. Now you can do the same with text. Let's say that you want your text to grow bigger or grow smaller. Let's just fuck the black pillars. And I already have this made. Boom. So up here it says fuck the black pillars. We're going to go to the beginning of the asset. Boom. And we're going to go scale, position. Normally you only have to do scale if you only want to change the size of the thing, but if you also want to change the position along with it, because when I make this bigger, when this goes bigger, obviously it's gonna like move upwards and it might move out of the screen. So just change this to 100 again. So right now it's scale 100, and I'm gonna go up here. Let's say I want to make it, yeah, this big, but I also want it to move down. It's the same thing. We've already oh fuck. I actually need to move over to where we want it, like further in the progression. And now I can give it the commands that I want it to be this big, and I want it to be over here. Very simple. It's going to start moving by itself and growing bigger. Man, my burps are really bad today. And that's pretty much how you animate text and just asset. You can do this with videos too. Let's say, so you can see, let me see if I can find the point. Yeah, here. You can see that the screen is getting smaller as I go, and that's because I've animated it to do so in the exact same way. Again, here I only played with the scale, I didn't play with the position, but I put it in that I want it to have 78.2 scale at the beginning of the clip, and then at the end of the clip, I want it to have 70.3 scale, and it's just going to gradually lessen down. It's very simple. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? Bum 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 bum. How to scavenge assets for your collection. Oh boy, you guys are gonna fucking love this shit. Are you ready for some galaxy brain plays? All right, so I got a couple of friends for you. So number one is OBS, but it's gonna fuck up the stream if I actually start showing you because I'm streaming from OBS. But another one is Media Puller. And you're not gonna use it to download videos from XHamster. You're gonna use this to download videos from YouTube. Now, let's say that I find a sound effect that I really like. Let's just say clapping sound effect. All right, so I find the clapping sound effect. Yeah, there we go. I decide that it's not shit and I want to use it for my video. So I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to go into Media Puller. I'm going to Control paste. Boom. I'm just going to download whichever one it allows me to. Please don't do some fuck shit here. Can you just, oh man. Why now? All right, boom. You can see here we have it. You just pause it because otherwise it's going to blare at full volume. Right click it, save video as, and you're just going to save it wherever you want. I usually have like a folder for this shit, but I don't really like the sound effect. But again, for the lecture's sake, save it. I'm gonna move this over so I can actually import it into Premiere Pro. And you just take it from the download location, slide it in, and let me see if I can move it over here. Fuck. I'm actually gonna move this up because I'm really risking it all here for you boys, because if I fuck up this document, like this is my actual video, this is my file, so I don't want to ruin this. Luckily there's Control C. But now you can see there's this really annoying video part because we didn't download a sound effect, we downloaded a video. And we don't want this because fuck this shit. We want people to see the video. We don't want them to see like a subwoofer spitting sound. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna right click this asset, you're gonna press unlink, and now you can edit these two parts without them interfering with each other. So you can actually just delete this, boom, and you're left with a sound effect. Wow, that is very loud. So yeah, just a simple way for you guys to find sound effects if you don't have something like Epidemic Sound or something else. Like, I know for some it might not really be worth if they don't really know if they want to do YouTube, but I would recommend you get something like that because it's really good. It's going to save you a lot of time. But that, even when you have those, doesn't mean you can't use this technique. It's really, really good. Secondly, let's say that Summer Festival. I'm going to show you guys another neat little trick. Because depending on your download speed, you might not have the bandwidth to download a 50-minute video. I get it, I really do. So, but let's say that you have a part in this video which you really need for your editing. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put the video on full screen, you're gonna move your mouse out. It's usually like all these borders, they're usually gonna go away. And you're gonna open OBS, you're gonna record with sound, and you're only gonna record the part that you really need. Usually it's just like a 10-15 second segment, so there's no reason to have to edit through, like look for a 50-minute video to find the point that you like and cut it out. So just use OBS for times like those. Or even if you want something from a series, let's say that you have Disney Plus and you're making a video on Moon Knight, simply go on Disney Plus, open OBS, record it on Disney Plus, boom, you're done. And then you just get the part that you want and import it into your Premiere timeline. It's a very simple way to do it. Let's see, what else was there in this segment? Because I know there was something else. Business list, how to scavenge as a freaking light. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, there are other sites from which you can download assets on YouTube. But I use Media Puller, and then I use, this one, YouTube Downloader, savefrom.net. Because sometimes Media Puller is an absolute whore and doesn't let you download the assets that you're actually looking for. And on those times, I just use this site. I don't know why I don't usually use this, but actually, yeah, I do. Because this doesn't, like, this just downloads, what is it? Okay. All right, download it. It doesn't matter. But usually when you download something from here, it's just going to download it, and it doesn't let me choose where I want to save it. And I just find it a hassle to then go into the downloads and then shift it over to my folder. So I just like to use Media Puller. Now next, color correction, salvaging bad footage. So I think we can all agree that you might not be able to record all the time. And sometimes you just have to take the chance that you can get, even if the lighting is not the best. Now, you can obviously do a lot with camera settings, but let's say that your footage is absolutely botched. Now, I don't know too much about color correction, but I know the basics. So this, you just go into color. I think there's the Metroscopes, but basically what you want to do is just play around with these settings until you like your footage. If your footage looks very yellow, you can usually fix that. If it looks very dark, you can usually add a little bit of light. There's so much you can do with this setting. It's amazing. So if your footage is not the best, but you don't have the chance to re-record, then this can at least make up for it somewhat, make the video footage not horrible. So you can play around with these settings. I know there's a lot you can do here. So yeah, do this on your own discretion. Otherwise, just watch a video on color grading. I know there are a lot of great videos, and the reason that I learned about this was because I watched a 16-minute video and now know the basics of how to do it. You can even, like, you know, change the overall color of the footage. No, we don't want that. Boom. But yeah, there's a lot you can fix here, especially if you're doing like edits and you don't need it to look like super realistic. I can imagine this being like really, really nice. So just play around with it. Okay. Sound effects matter and how to use them when downloaded. We already went over this. This was pretty much just the unlink part. But sound effects matter. Now, I haven't made sound effects for this video yet. I'm not that far in the editing process. But sound effects are just a really great way to make your viewer aware that something is happening, even though they might be able to see it on the screen. But some people have two screens. Some people, they are working while they're watching your YouTube video. So when you have a sound effect, it kind of alerts the viewer that, oh, something is happening in the video, something interesting is happening. And it might tempt them to look over. Obviously, if they're on their phone, you probably have their full attention unless they're watching TV at the meantime, which people usually do. But yeah, just use sound effects. I'm actually gonna show you an example here of what I'm gonna add some sound effects to this. It's gonna take like a couple seconds. I'm gonna go into my sound effects folder. Let's see, what is this? Making Hamza video. Boom. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, stop making Hamza videos. It's there. The asset just pops up in itself, and I mean, it's not horrible, but it can be better. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a plunger sound effect, and we're gonna look at the yeah, you know what, fuck it, so you can actually hear what's going on. Stop making Hamza videos. You see the difference? Making Hamza videos. Now, it's obviously fucked because of Premiere. Let's see if we can make this a little bit more smooth. Making Hamza videos. So when this appears, you're actually made aware that something is happening in the video. Making Hamza. It's very simple. And it pops up. It's very nice, and obviously try and find sound effects that complement what is happening on the screen. I don't really have a... Again, sound effects, it takes a little while to actually get a feel for what you like using and what actually goes with the content that you're making, with the effects that you're using. But good sound effects can like make or break a video, whether people watch it, whether people like it, and whether it's like actually engaging. Try and look at a Mr. Beast like video, and you'll notice that there's probably a lot of sound effects whenever an asset appears on the screen, whether it's text or whether it's an image, anything really. So just be aware of that and don't be lazy. Next, how to save time on text and everything related to it. Now, you guys probably noticed when I made this piece of text, like fuck the black pillars, I didn't actually do anything with the text. That is because you can actually make text presets. This is very, very simple knowledge, but if you're making a lot of subtitles for your videos, it can be a bitch and a half if you have to actually change the settings for all of them. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go up to the text, say fuck all the black pillars. I'm actually gonna make some new text, like just so you guys can see the process. So you're just gonna find whatever text you like. I usually use like just basic title. Gonna go in and you're gonna find the font that is on brand for you. I usually use the Obelix font. Boom. And then from there, let's say that you want to add some drop shadow and you want to add a stroke. Now, just add a big stroke. Big stroke. Jokes. But now we have this text over here. And if you have to do that for every single time text appears, it's going to get tedious in the end, especially if you use a lot of text. So what you can do is you hover over this, like you select this asset, press it, styles, and then you just press create new style and give it a name. Now we can just say Obelix 2, or you can even call it Obelix white, because let's say that you have 3 different people in your video and you're making subtitles for all of them. Like I know a lot of us don't make gaming videos, but let's say that, like they do in gaming videos, that a different person's subtitles is in a different color. Then you can simply, again, hover over the text, fill, change this to green, boom, and create new style, Obelix 2 green. And now whenever you make a new piece of text, instead of having to repeat that tedious process, even though it only takes 30 seconds maybe, those 30 seconds, if you do that 20 times, it gets a little bit boring. So you simply hover over the text, like double click it, select it, oblique screen, boom, and you don't have to do any of this shit again. And you just have the text popped in here. It's the small things that are going to save you a lot of time. Now, next is markers. You're probably going to notice that there are a lot of markers in this video. And all of this, I call them edit points. Now, the way that I personally approach video editing is that I look through the video and I think to myself, what would make this video fucking amazing? Like, what edits do I potentially want to make? And then once I decide, like, okay, for this edit, I want to add X. Then you simply hover over the point of the timeline that you're referring to, press M, and up here you can see something like this little marker. You go in, write whatever, like add picture of a dragon. And then let's say, like, for my edit points, I like to use the very like blue turquoise something color. And boom, now I know that here I need to add a picture of a dragon, because if I come back to edit later, I might have forgotten. If you have issues with your memory, this might be a really, really good tool for you to use. It's a, you know, reminder that for next time when I have to pick up on the editing, I know, okay, here I want show person dumping shit meme and slap a Hamza picture on at the end. Like, I know, I somewhat know what this means, so that's going to bring back the idea that I had that I thought was really good and allow me to not have to constantly think of new shit to do for the video. And again, you can just use these like as much as you want. I have a lot of these. So yeah, that's just a nice little tip that I wanted to give you guys. If you don't feel like you need it, it's fair enough. Now, smaller tips. These are just like things that I decided aren't necessarily like make or break, but are just nice things that I've realized over the time that I've been editing. Now let's say that you have 2 clips. And let's say that you're blurring, let me see if I can find this here, blur. We're blurring this out because we want to remove focus from the background image to what do we don't like? You know, just fuck. Let's just say fuck. We've already said fuck the black pillar, so we can't really repeat that again. But boom. So I want to remove focus from the background image and focus on the text. Now, if you just make a hard transition, that looks really weird. It looks really wonky. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is happening? But if you go in here into the effects panel, go into Film Dissolve, add this in, more attractive as a teenager, it's a more seamless transition. Now, this is obviously way too long. I usually like to make it like 15 milliseconds. And more attractive as a teenager. This is gonna make it look a lot smoother. And you can even make it like smoother yet. I think if we bring it down to 10, teenager is boom, simple. And usually you just make this asset disappear with a transition. I feel like the whip transition is really good for this. So what you're gonna make, you're gonna have this, boom, 0, 10, and you're gonna have these line over each other. As a teenager, he lines out and goes smoothly into the clip and removes the blur. Next, exponential fade is a friend. And exponential fade is an effect that you use for sound. Let's say that you want to switch from one song to the next. Let me give you an example. Let me import some songs so that you can see what I'm actually referring to. See, what do we... yeah, we're just going to import these 2 songs. Boom. And... wow, that is very loud. Let us not make it that loud. Okay, let's say that I want this song to seamlessly go into the next, so that you can't really hear this song as much, and this one starts, you know, gaining some traction. what you're gonna do is you're gonna take an exponential fade, boom, and then you're gonna drag it. Oh, fuck. Let's see here. We can actually remove this part. Fuck this part. We don't really need this. So you exponential fade, boom, and you just drag it all the way across. Yeah, there. And usually make this a little bit smaller, and you can make a constant gain on this one so it doesn't just abruptly start either. Oh shit, let's see if we can. So you can see it's a bit more smooth when it starts fading and the other one starts gaining traction. And you can even like, actually not even, this is pretty much the way to do it. If you don't want, you know, the clips to abruptly end or like truly intervene with each other, you're obviously gonna make this a little bit closer, so it's probably gonna look more like this, and then exponential fade this and constant gain this so that it goes more like smoothly. But that is just a very nice tip that I've noticed. Now, when you're making thumbnails for YouTube, we all know that YouTube doesn't allow for bigger than 2.1 megabyte thumbnails. Now, if you're taking pictures with your fancy camera, that is a problem, because if it's like a really big image, it's usually going to be, you know, 20 megabytes or 10 megabytes. A simple way to get it, let's actually stop this sound. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now what this does is that it lets you resize images. So the image size for a YouTube thumbnail is 1280 with 720, and you just start the process and it's gonna shoot out a thumbnail, no change in quality. It's just gonna be a size change, and like obviously it's gonna be a lot smaller, but it's gonna be perfect for YouTube. This is the only website that I found that once you change the size format, it doesn't fuck with the image itself. So this is a godsend. I use it for every single thumbnail that I make, because usually when you make like fancier thumbnails with a lot of assets, they are usually gonna exceed 2 megabytes. But yeah, I just really like this because it doesn't fuck with the image, and it's never failed. Anytime I put an image in here and just like convert it, boom, instantly it can just throw it into YouTube. Next, this is a little bit off topic, but if you do anime content, I actually stumble upon this guy's DeviantArt, Maxi Uchiha 22. Now, he makes a lot of really good PNGs for anime stuff. So if you really like, let's say Dragon Ball, let's go into Cell Saga. Come on. You can see he has a lot of PNGs. And you can pretty much, I don't know if this has a search function, but you can pretty much just look through it if you want to, and yeah, it's just a really easy way to find anime PNGs. I know he's done Dragon Ball, he's done Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh, more Naruto, One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia. Like, he's done a lot of shit, so if you do anime videos, this guy might be something for you. Let's see, next. Again, if you want to add like some anime-ish effects, sites like these, PNG Wing. Now, the way that I found these sites, because it's not like I use one site exclusively, but let's say anime aura background. All right. So you find something like this, and it's not a PNG by itself, so you click on it, and it brings you over to these sites. These sites are actually free, most of them, and you don't have to insert email or anything, and it just pretty much lets you download. Just go in here, download this PNG, and it just works. It's really great for your thumbnails if you want to add like some effects to them and make them a bit more fancy. Let's see, what else do I have? Wow, this lecture was actually a lot shorter than I expected it to be. Now, some programs, in case that you want to get a little bit better at planning. Most of you probably already know about Notion. It's what I personally use for all my stuff. It's just a really nice program. It's free, and I still have to get around to actually like setting it up properly, but it's probably like the best organization all-in-one program that you can find. Really great. I use it for writing scripts, pretty much. And really you can see here that I have like my planning stage, need to record, and I can just move things over accordingly to where I need to, like where they are in the pipeline. Next up is Milanote, which is also a free program. And let's see here, yeah. So this is just really nice for like brainstorming. Now, let's see if I can find one with a lot of cards. So let's say that you want to put things up a little bit more creatively. Now, I've done things very boring, but you can obviously, you know, drag and drop a lot of assets, add links, to-do lists, and it's free. Like, obviously you have limited space depending on whether you're free or whether you actually pay for it, but I just find it really nice to really put everything into cards, outline the video that you're trying to make, and just put it all on the table. Really, I don't have, like, none of this is sponsored, I wish, but these are just simple tools that I really like to use, especially like if I don't know what type of video I want to make and need to like get an overview of what it is that I'm trying to do, what it is that I want to do with the video, that kind of stuff. So for that, Milanote is actually really nice, and again, it has an app, a program, and you can also get it on your phone, but I primarily use it on my PC. Wow. Whew. Yeah, that's it. That is everything I have for the lecture, boys. Now, yeah. I guess now's the Q&A. So if you have any questions, if you had anything on the lecture where you felt like, man, what the fuck is he talking about? I do not understand this. Now is the time to ask for advice, whatever. If you have any questions on like, you just edit videos, Vale. That's really, you know, I feel like with editing videos requires a sense of creativity. Like you have to be able to see something and be like, okay, how can I actually get this onto a timeline? I want these assets to appear at the same time. Okay, so that means that I need to obviously, you know, use either some keyframes or use some transitions to like have them appear on the screen, and then I can make them bigger or smaller, that kind of stuff. Man. Now, Jason Leung, I don't use After Effects. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm sure there are a lot of... That's such a stupid thing to say. Oh, there are a lot of videos out there, but like, again, where do you start? I mean, if you don't want to produce content yourself, a simple thing that you can do is, let's say that you download anime videos and you edit them to the beat, or you like make anime edits, that kind of stuff. I guess that would be the simplest way to do it. A lot of people are making edits and upload it. Even if you don't want to upload it, it's just a really simple way to do it. I switch your experience with After Effects. No, I don't think After Effects is the best for this type of like longer form content. After Effects is really great for edits, like shorter edits, because I have never opened it, but I've just seen people use it for shorter animations and they've looked amazing. If you don't have a credit card, and how do you get the Finzar pack? That is a very good question. I have no fucking clue, dude. You can probably like send Finzar a text and ask if you can send him some feet pics in exchange for the pack, I guess. Not really. How do I improve my confidence in front of the camera? Oh, dude. I think you just have to improve your confidence as a whole, and really just being a lot in front of the camera. Like, I've been doing YouTube for 1 year and 3 months, and in the beginning it was really awkward. But I think that the biggest thing is, in the beginning you're kind of like afraid, like, what if someone I know finds my YouTube videos? Oh my god, what I have to be careful what I say, because if someone I know finds my YouTube videos, they're gonna be like, oh no, look at this guy thinking he's a YouTuber. But at some point you just develop this like, fuck him, I don't fucking care. Who are you? Why do you matter? Like, you aren't paying my bills. And you just become more like yourself. Like the more you do YouTube and the more confidence you get, is that you become more yourself. Now, I really wanted to do like I really, really, really want to do a lecture on meditation, because I feel like I've realized that meditation is the most important skill that you're ever gonna, like, the most important habit that you're ever gonna do, because meditating removes that inner voice, that inner doubt that you have, like, oh, I'm being creepy if I look at this chick for too long, or oh, I can't do these things. Like, once you meditate for long enough, the effects that you're gonna enter an ultra instinct like state where you just have total confidence. And so if you want to get better in front of the camera, start meditating more. Like, start meditating for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time, and really, like, get comfortable with your thoughts. Start journaling a lot. That man learned to prove my progress, the fact that I was able to understand everything. Dude, Mass Civilian, that's great. Like, yeah, anime clips is a very simple way to, like, make cool anime edits. Like, whenever, sometimes you can, if you hear a song. Now, I once made this, like, one edit with Gojo, and I heard it from the song Layers from NF, and I felt like, man, this would look really fucking dope. And I just went home and did it. Like, it's a very simple way to, like, get into the whole cutting images and, like, working to the beat, especially if you want to make shorts and, like, TikToks and stuff. That's a really good technique to have, because a lot of from what I've studied from the short scene is that the ones that are really successful are the ones where the clips follow the beat. So if you have, like, a very fast beat, let me see if I can find, because there's a guy on Instagram who's really good at doing this. Nate. Bro, what the fuck was this guy called? I know I have his, like, his pack somewhere here. Basic correction. Yeah, there we go. Dane Macbeth. Now, where is he? Yeah, this guy. And this has like 264,000 views. Now I'm going to put on the audio and you're going to see what I'm referring to. So, boom.
But I'm number one. Sorry.
Okay, see that? So that really just... all he did was edit to the beat. It wasn't like any of the editing was crazy. It was just like he edited it to the beat. And a lot of people like that because it... I don't know. It triggers the dopamine. Fuck if I know. Like, but just learn to edit to the beat. That's a really good way of doing it. I do a Twitch for you when it comes to standing in front of the camera. It's different. Yeah, it's a... think of okay. Yo, bro, and then you have... Dude, IPAC, one of the original lecture homies. Let's go, man. Yeah, this lecture is going to be recorded like all the other ones, and it's going to be free on YouTube. And I feel, honestly, like I'm not even tooting my own horn, but I think this lecture was fucking fire. For like an hour, this is probably the most condensed knowledge that you're going to find on YouTube. Like, no shit. The Finsar tip alone is going to save you hours. Hours. Good Lord. So, yeah, this lecture is absolutely one you must watch. It is a banger. Yeah, that's actually right, Wonder. Like, you need to think that your personality is whatever you want it to be. I started reading Psycho-Cybernetics, and for the next 30 days, I'm going to write the exact same thing in my journal. Like, I'm going to journal on the person that I am for 30 days. Not the person that I wanted, the person that I am. I'm going to start considering that I am this person already. Like, this is what it is, bruv. So, yeah. Yeah, sounding monotone is a good start. Just keep it. Brain better talking story. Place a whole video start. Nest your clips. Most valuable tool. Nesting. Dude, I've heard that about nest. Leo, I'm actually gonna have to like look that up. What like nesting I'm gonna write that down. Nesting clips? Okay. Boom. My Wi-Fi is so bad. I literally see little squares. Feels bad, Reba, but it is what it is, dude. I just appreciate that you're here. What's up, Kathy? The boy, the dude. But yeah, YouTube downloaders are great. if you're making YouTube content, they're fucking amazing. It's just a very simple, cheap, actually free way to get content for your videos. Yeah, Jason, I'm never taking this down. Like, I'm also going to make like a fancy thumbnail for this, just, you know, for the boys. So do you write that you're already that guy who you really... K-Bash, I'm writing the person... Like, I'm writing down the person that I want to be as if I was already him. That's pretty much it. And I'm going to do that for 30 days straight. So yeah. I think it's going to be very valuable. Man, I actually set up 2 hours for the, like, I thought it was going to take longer than it did, but shit just flew out of me. God damn. Yeah. That is actually going to be it for the lecture, boys. Man. No shit, I feel like this is the best, like the most high value condensed knowledge, no BS lecture that I've done so far. Like when I look back, like when I look at this document, if I had known these things like a year ago, fuck, it would have been, I would have been somewhere completely different with my editing right now. And like really, one thing you need to understand, editing is about not being lazy, because you can know all these techniques. But obviously, like, adding all these effects and, like, changing the size and all that stuff, like, it's not exactly time-consuming, but it's not just something that just, it takes more than a few seconds. So you have to make a commitment that you want to make the video good, you know? Like, you can know all these techniques, but if you can't be arsed to actually get a PNG, dude, I'm going to remember all you when I become famous. Don't worry, Reba. But... you have to make a commitment. Like, you have to, if you want to get really good at YouTube. So I'm starting a YouTube mastermind, and already like we already like got all the members together, and some of the requirements that I made for the people in the mastermind was to watch either the Mr. Beast podcast on Joe Rogan or in Colin and Samir, because a very important idea, most YouTubers, they release a video and it's like just them talking to a camera. Like, you need to be brutally honest to yourself. Would you watch a video of you speaking to a camera if you're not being biased? Is the stuff you have to say really that game-changing, that you feel that, okay, I can get away with just making this video where I speak to the camera with zero editing? Most people are kidding themselves, and they don't grow, and they try to do all these, like, especially if they're like in cult disciple, then they're just going to post their links into the like cult content creators and like hope that people are going to watch their videos. Is like, why would I watch your video? Like, what does your video, why is your video worth 10 minutes of my time? Like, is it good? Is it entertaining? Most people need to be brutally honest with themselves and consistently ask themselves, how can I make better videos? And instead of like thinking about being clickbait, obviously like making better thumbnails is a big one, but don't be straight up clickbait. That's just stupid. If your video shit, then, you know, that click isn't really gonna matter. But really just be hyper obsessed about making better videos. Ask yourself, how can I push the boundary? How can I add more movement? How can I add better sound effects? How can I make the content better? How can I make the content more engaging? Jason, this is a little bit different because this is a live stream, so this is like, I can't even do editing even if I wanted to. But I just have it like hyper condensed. But for the 10-minute videos, I'm trying to make it like, or the 7-minute videos in that case, like I'm trying to make it as valuable as possible and as highly edited as possible so that the viewer is constantly entertained. Like a big part is the market doesn't fucking care, bro. The market doesn't care that you don't have time to edit your video. They're just going to watch the video of someone who's saying the exact same thing that you are, but where the content is easier to digest. Oh, K-Bash, like, right now you can't join the mastermind, but, I mean, right now we are the members that we are. It was for Adonis only. And there was some like requirements that you had to do, so it's not something that you can just join. Because how come up with a meaningful knowledge that make people watch more guys don't speak because I have some speak. Kathy, that is a very good question. That you do that by suffering through shit. Most guys they start talking, and they aren't really saying anything revolutionary, but they just want to talk, and I get that. But the way that I'm not saying you shouldn't, but this would be a good time for you to like, okay, maybe you're just saying cookie cutter shit, but then try and make that video as good as possible so that when you finally develop the knowledge that people are actually willing to consume even without proper editing, and you then got your editing, then it's going to be a twice as good video. And, essentially I want to outsource the video editing process at some point later along the line. I actually like being involved in the creative process because then I can actually like more accurately say, okay, this is what I want. So in the future, I'm going to be able to tell my editors like, okay, this is kind of the style that we're going for. This is what I want. But try and use this point where you might not have the best to say, but try and make the video as good as you can in any other way. That makes sense? Yeah, don't let it stop you from taking action, as Coach Vogue is saying. Use it as a learning period where you know that you might not blow up, but you're going to improve your skills drastically. Like now, my editing is maybe at like a 6 out of 10, in my opinion. Like maybe a 5, 6 out of 10 right now to where I'd want it to be. And now I know I'm starting to gain the knowledge through meditation, through journaling, through more exercising, through more dieting, that now that I have the editing on check, when I finally get all the knowledge and I actually just decide to make the videos, it's going to be so much easier to convey the message, but also make the content banging so that it's easier to digest. So it's going to be a win-win. You just have to so many people are in a hurry to blow up on YouTube and live the Hamza lifestyle because you see him like fucking chilling in some exotic place with like chicks and like he's looking jacked and he has money in the bank and he's retiring his parents, and most people are like, I want to do that too. But most people aren't really taking into consideration that he's been at this for some time now. Before he actually started making videos on YouTube, I actually love Tate. No shit. But before he actually started posting his stuff, I think he did like a year of self-improvement or some shit like that. So he's been this is his third year. This is Hamza's third year. And you guys are trying to be like him on your first year, when you have no fucking clue how to do this shit and you want it now. But the fact that you want it now is what's holding you back, because you don't have the patience to actually keep going. You don't have the patience to be consistent because you're thinking about the end result without really wanting the process. Maybe some of you aren't meant to actually do YouTube. Straight up. But you're just seeing that this is the path that worked for Hamza. You're like, I want this too. Let's see. And how's there for people who do not I mean, pretty much, Kathy. But again, it's all about what you have to say. Is it interesting or does it help people, or does it do both? Because some people want to give dieting advice when they've never actually lost weight or when they aren't jacked. Why should I listen to you if you're not jacked giving dieting advice? It's that kind of you need some proof that what you're doing actually works. It's the same I know you obviously shouldn't say that all personal trainers should be jacked as long as they can get you from A to B, but it helps to be jacked because it's okay, I've done it for myself, I can probably do it for you too. Keep moving forward. Yeah, literally. I got a picture of Aaron on my wall, so yeah. Jason, that's the age-old question. It's because I'm actually going to give you guys a mini lecture on something that I've been needing to make a video. The biggest thing that is holding people back is their need for guaranteed outcomes. most people, they start something or don't start something because they don't have a guaranteed outcome. They start something, and let's say they go at it for a month or 2 months, and then they quit because they don't see it going up. They don't see the thing moving. They don't see the channel growing. They don't see themselves getting more clients. So they just think like, oh, this isn't for me, because the outcome isn't guaranteed. They think about, okay, maybe the next of my life is going to be like these first 2 months with no clients. When you're able to let go of your need for guaranteed outcomes is when you're going to start making the most progress in your life, because you're actually going to start working instead of like focusing on, am I actually going to win? Obviously, I still have days where I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I could just like look into the future and see if I made it on YouTube. But I know that that is not going to help me. You know? I know that I just need to keep working. Like the thing about work is that, and like starting your own thing, is that it's guaranteed and it's not guaranteed at the same time. It's not guaranteed if you don't work at it, but if you work at it every single day for 5 years, there's no way you're not going to make it, because the skills are going to compound upon themselves. And yeah, maybe the first 4 years you didn't do anything, but then something clicks on the 5th year and you just start fucking smashing it. Like you get that one editor, you start creating a different format of content, you start getting your editing better, you learn how to make thumbnails. I mean, Kathy, there is no way to gain knowledge required to make meaningful videos. I mean, you're probably joking right now, but look at it this way. Like, it depends on the niche you're in. The way that if you want to make fitness content, you have to work out for like 5 years and study a lot to gain the knowledge. If you want to make calisthenics content, you have to do calisthenics for 3 years and learn how to actually do the things. And then you can do videos on the different progressions, like, okay, how to do a front lever on the pull-up bar, whatever. But you need to just go out there and suffer for 1 or 2 or 3 years and actually learn the thing that you're trying to do. And then you can start making content on it. Or, you know, the content that is really going to... this is why I can't read comments and actually respond to things at the same time. But you really just need to go through the thing, like the process of the thing that you want to make content about. I can't make content about, or good content rather about, I can make a video on how to start meditating. And now I've meditated for a while, so I can give some like tips and some advice on what has helped me. But if you meditated for like 2 months and you can make a video on how to start meditating, but you can't really give that deeper insight because you haven't gotten to that point yourself. Yeah, I know, Wonder, but like, look, you live 2 lives, okay? And I can attest this to myself. So obviously Hamza started gaining knowledge at some point. But when he decided to go home from his ex-girlfriend, like from the one that he was smoking weed with and all that shit, someone, like a part of him died at that point. He decided that he didn't want to be that person no more. And I know, like, there's a difference between saying that you're not going to be a certain person anymore and then sliding back, and there's a difference between deciding that either you become someone else or you die. Okay? So Hamza, he might have been working out for, like, I've been working out forever too, but I only became the life of Pablo last year. Like, I've been doing self-improvement for a while, but it wasn't until last year that I vowed that my life is going to change now. I'm not going to go back on who I am. Okay? So there is a life pre-making that pledge and deciding that you're going to live your own life, and there's a life after. Most people are still, like, they still haven't decided that who they're going to be, because they're stuck in the matrix, quote unquote. Like, they're stuck in like what other people think of them, that they have to live life a certain way. This isn't for me. I'm not meant to have this level of success. They have like all these thoughts that trap them and all these constructs that trap them in a world that isn't beneficial for them, but they don't know how to get out. But at one point, you either get so crazy living in that world that you pledge to escape, or you kill yourself, or you just stay in that world. Like, you just stay trapped watching other people live their lives and like have the level of success that you say that you don't want to have, but deep down know that you actually do want to have. So, and never odd nor even, that's actually true. You just need to be one level up on the viewer. But, you know, I like being more than just one level up. But yeah, absolutely. You just need to know a little bit more than the person watching your video for them to feel that, okay, this guy is giving me knowledge. Now, someone like Hamza, who doesn't have like, he has a self-improvement channel, which is very, very broad. Self-improvement is very broad, quote unquote, because there are so many aspects in self-improvement that actually help you change your life. So he's not just a meditation channel, he's a NoFap channel, he's a fitness channel, he is a, you know, he has all these different things that while he doesn't have a very, very high level in all of them, he has, you know, very high levels in some of them and maybe above average levels in others, which is still going to, like, for the people starting out on their journey, it's great because he's going to seem like a sage to most people who are just starting out on their journey. Yeah, Kathy, that's pretty much it. Like, that's what we're seeing on with most videos, how to be successful. You know, people like how to become ultra successful. Like, they're making this super clickbait title and it's like, just think positive thoughts, bro. But they're not going into detail on why you need to think positive thoughts, how you can actually make it easier for yourself, that kind of stuff. Everybody wants to be Hamza now. That's the problem. And they're like, okay, so I'm just going to take the little that I know and I'm just going to start making videos. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly fine. But if you don't improve and you don't try to make your videos better, you're just going to be stuck at the bottom forever. I believe the people who actually make it are the ones who really think outside the box, like, how can I make my content better? What aren't people already covering? That kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any more questions left. If you do, like, just ask them now, because otherwise I will be turning off the stream. I think it's incredibly fun to sit here and talk, but I have to go to work tomorrow and I really, really need to go to bed at some point. So unless you got any more questions, that is actually going to be it for the editing live stream. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, Cap. You just gotta make your videos fun to watch. What do you use to put? Oh, yeah. So I have this thing called Newsfeed Eradicator, and it pretty much just removes the feed from whatever you want it to. It's really good to not get distracted. Oh, apparently you can also have, like, add your own quotes and, like, huh, okay. Cool. Cool. Man. Well, yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the lecture, and yeah, I'll probably see you guys in the next one. I mean, if you like the lecture, man, share it with your friends who might need to improve their video editing, because I know this is a more specialized lecture. It's not one of those, like, learn how to fix your life, bro, lectures, you know, so it's not as interesting, but I feel like this was a really, really good one. I mean, Kathy, why do you want to deliver value that you don't have? Like, that is my question. Like, do you want to do YouTube because you actually want to help people, or do you want to do YouTube because you like the perks of doing YouTube, like the benefits that, oh, you can upload a video and just make money? Because that's the thing. Otherwise, if you just want to really help people, like, you can talk about the topics that you know about, but otherwise just, you know, wait till you have more knowledge. I can't really give you anything on that. I'm trying to improve the aspects that you can, And obviously it's important, like it's really important if you want to do self-improvement content, that you actually do self-improvement, that you meditate more, that you journal more, that you train more, all this kind of stuff, so that you can eventually start giving the advice and like reach the enlightenment that you want to give. But yeah, that is actually going to be it, boys. I will see you. Bye.